Bring anything. She want water, get up, get it yourself. She want food, get up, get it yourself. This is a very bad behavior and you shouldn't reward it.
Yes, sir. What is the problem that you think the solution is weight loss surgery?
Because I'm too heavy and I can't do it.
So we give you the diet to follow, and you're trying to figure out another way to lose weight. So what is your objective coming here? What do you want us to do? Make you have to change all that dynamic. So that means, Tammy?
They say that you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. However, in these cases, that figure of speech might be just as literal as it is figurative. Some people end up doing more harm than good when trying to help those they care about in their attempts to become refuge for the patients. They end up slowly killing them whether they know it or not. Henry Fultz is the first example of this counterproductive behavior from those around him.
My earliest memory of being overweight, I would say, junior high school.
He would go in the bathroom and hide and eat. He just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It got to be huge.
And sometimes it just looked like I just gorged myself. And it's still not enough.
I always blame myself for Henry gaining that weight. If somebody would say something about Henry eating, I would tell him, let him eat. That's what we buy the food for him to eat. I encouraged him.
You look at yourself one day and...
The story of 750-pound Henry Fultz begins with him wanting to lose weight in time for his high school reunion. His quirky and crafty personality suggests he is very aware of his morbid obesity, even though he has let it get this bad. From the beginning, it's clear that this is not a blameless crime, as the family he has around him seems to be plagued by the same gluttony that Henry does.
For me and her.
2, 3.
When I met Henry, he came to work for the same company I was working for.
It's a little bit heavy.
We started a friendship. He was getting a little serious.
We lived together for 13 years. It just got to the point where we just couldn't stay together anymore.
Over the years, Henry came to weigh 750 pounds. He needed someone who could wait on him hand and foot, and I couldn't do it. So that's when we took a break.
Henry since undergoes his gastric bypass surgery and is on track to start losing weight that will save his life. It's then revealed that his ex-girlfriend of 13 years has reconnected with him. She mentions that since he started gaining weight, she had abandoned him as she couldn't be the guiding light that he needed, struggling with obesity herself. Luckily for Henry, he had taken matters into his own hands.
You don't want the chicken? I take your chicken. Yeah, I have good days and I have bad days. It's hard for me all the time. I ain't gonna lie to you, I do eat stuff I don't supposed to eat. Cheating me. Can't help myself sometimes. This is not easy. Just wanna give it up and just going back to eat like I was. It's an everyday struggle. It's one day at a time.
After being on track for skin removal surgery, Henry mentions how depression causes him to relapse sometimes. The enablers lie in the community church Henry frequents, having unhealthy meals with no guidance from his friends or family. Unbeknownst to them, they're slowly driving him towards his untimely demise. What may seem like a harmless, hearty meal is ultimately a death sentence to charming old Henry.
I'm very determined to lose this weight, but it's hard to resist all the temptations.
Ooh.
Hey, bro.
Watch out, watch out.
I'm hungry. I'm trying to eat.
Wasn't a good time for me to come home. I didn't want to stay long at the hospital, but soon. I don't know how to make it.
Henry returns home one day to find his family gouging themselves with unhealthy fast food right in front of him. Henry mentions how difficult it's for him to resist the temptations and comfort food brings him, and his inconsiderate family seem to be making matters worse for him. Talk about not reading the room.
I didn't think he would be able to do it. I didn't think he would. I didn't think he would really stick to it. But he did. I'm proud of him, though. I wish his dad had lived to see him.
Before his second excess skin removal surgery, his father passes away from a plethora of health complications, which is a massive setback for him. He mentions that he wishes his father could see the man he's become after the weight loss in a heartbreaking moment. His mother goes on to say she didn't think Henry would be able to lose weight, clearly a projection of her own lack of self-control when it comes to food. She should have had more faith in her son, who's clearly fighting to get his life back.
Get on that scale sometime. Say, I ain't lost no but a pound. That's a pound less than I had. My dad died right after I had the surgery. One of the comforts is food. I overate. And I know I overate. June 15th, I never will forget. Why? Because that was the day I got my life back.
The reason
To wrap his story up, he decides to become the help and guidance he never received to other people going through the same situation. He volunteers at obesity surgery support weight group meetings to give others advice that might preemptively save their life. Henry talks about how he empathizes with people that use food as their support system when times get tough, even mentioning the death of his father. But he also admits that he would always know when he was overeating, and that no matter how tough things get, he is living proof that it's never too late to make a change. But change is something Tommy might be a little reluctant to embrace.
Amanda is the one that cooks and brings it to me to make sure I'm happy. And she always makes something good. Very, very good. But my favorite is when she makes me a bunch of bologna sandwiches. The bologna and cheese sandwich that's probably my Achilles heel. It's hard to stop because it's hard to be happy once I'm done. If I'm eating and I still want to eat, I'm going to eat. And I'm going to be joyful for a few minutes, but I know when it's over with, I'm going to feel like. So that's why I can't stop, and I don't want to stop.
Tommy is another bad case of how easily bad habits can snowball into avalanches when you're surrounded by enablers that have the same habits as you. Amanda, Tommy's partner, is the culprit in this case study, cooking up to 8 meals a day for Tommy and bringing him closer and closer to complete immobility and even death. Tommy admits that once he gets his hand on some of Amanda's bologna sandwiches, it's impossible to stop eating because, unlike the rest of the world, food is the one thing that doesn't judge him.
Live together. You live together. Okay. So I see both of you have problems with your weight. So if you're living together and she's the one who feeds you where you're both overweight, then we have this functional dynamic between you two, enabling each other to overeat. So is that something you both realize?
No, sir. I wouldn't agree with that because I'd probably enable her.
But she's the one bringing you the food, so you can't overeat without her help. Okay.
The engaged couple visit Darnell, who takes one look at them and calls out the enabling dynamic they have going on. He mentions that it's obvious that they're both struggling with wake-up problems and pins the blame on Amanda, who's responsible for cooking and bringing Tommy the food. Tommy, being a good partner, tries to take accountability for his own actions, but Darnell states the obvious that without her, he wouldn't have access to the food that was ruining his life. A bitter pill to swallow.
Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and go to the room.
That's not as much as I was hoping for. So I'm a little disappointed. I just wish I lost more. And I thought with how hard I was working, I was. So it's just discouraging. I'm worried about how Dr. Now's gonna react since I'm not at my goal.
For their second visit, Tommy is unable to meet the target weight loss that Darnell suggested, as a result of falling back to old habits and the mentality that one cheat meal couldn't hurt. He's now sitting embarrassed in front of Darnell for his next progress update with only himself and his fiancée to blame. Tommy tries to deflect accountability, but Darnell is way too experienced to fall for tricks. He calls out their enabling behavior and tells them to get themselves together, as this is a matter of life or death.
Rapidly decline until it's too late for him. So this is a matter of life or death for him to make the changes on his eating habit. Do you understand that it's important to lose weight? So you both are in the program and need to make the changes because everybody needs to be healthy in that household. Okay? So this is like, oh, I'm a different program, I'm gonna follow a different diet. That's not gonna work. Everybody has to eat healthy in the household, so everybody has to be on the same page. If something is good for anybody, it's gonna be good for everybody, okay? You got that?
Amanda tries to weasel her out of the program by claiming that it's not for her, but even still, she's on her own personal diet instead of the one prepared for her. Darnell says that they're both enabling each other, and that the fact of the matter is that if they're eating more calories than they're burning, which they are, they will never lose any weight.
And what that indicates is that there's a significant emotional component behind your pathological eating. And before surgery, you had a food comfort. Anything goes wrong, you go to food, you feel better. But after surgery, you're not gonna have food comfort. And those emotional issues that drive you to get the food comfort may drive you to eat more and more, and that's gonna be an issue that we need to work on it. And to do that, we need to work with psychotherapy to help you with that right now. So I'm gonna set you up to see a therapist and see if we can work out this issue.
The first check-in appointment after Tommy's gastric bypass surgery, and Darnell asks him why he hasn't lost as much weight as he should have by this point. Tommy comes clean and admits that despite being more active and helping around the house, his cravings are still one thing he's struggling to get under control. Darnell suggests psychotherapy for him as he realizes this is a mental hurdle more than anything else.
I know I'm not at my goal, but I'm just really relieved I'm losing more instead of slowing down even worse. I had a lot of fear about that, so I feel really good right now. And I'm just hoping Dr. Now sees it like that too. And feels like this shows I'm trying like I need.
Tommy's last visit to Darnell reveals that despite his best efforts, he was still unable to meet the target for his monthly weight loss. Nevertheless, he had still made some progress by losing more than before. Darnell advises him that there's still more room for improvement and that they'll both have to consider the ramifications of what it means to stay obese for too long. Tommy and Amanda are on a ticking clock, and every moment draws them closer to an unfortunate end. Hopefully, James' story will have more to offer than a bittersweet end.
His weight, I cooked how I knew to cook. I hope he's not too bitter at me. It's not really his fault that he's at this weight. A lot of it is our family history.
My dad struggled with his weight.
James' story is a story of a great tragedy. Having lost both his father and sister to weight-related health complications, it doesn't seem like he's taken the hint yet. Weighing over 650 pounds, he knows he must change his ways, or he'll give his mother yet another funeral to attend. But this time she'll be lowering the casket alone.
Quite often.
So in the span of a day, how many times are you eating?
Probably 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Do you cook for him? Or?
I guess I thought I was cooking healthy all my life, but it seems like that what I've cooked is not the good food. It's like potatoes and, the starchies. And he likes to eat a lot of sweets, pies, cobblers, things like that.
Anybody else live in the house beside you too?
Not right now. I just lost my daughter and my husband.
Was your husband overweight?
Oh yes, he was close to 500 pounds.
James' visit to Darnell reveals that it's his mother that's been enabling James' poor and gluttonous eating habits, and that ever since half of their family had departed, food was something he fell back on as a support system. Darnell tells him that unless he changes his habits, he won't make it to 50.
It's been a month since my surgery. I'm very excited now that I can get off my liquid diet and eat some real food. I wanted to eat something I like.
I'm excited James will be able to eat regular food again. I'm gonna try to feed him less, but it's hard. He usually eats till he's full.
His forward progress after his gastric bypass is almost stunted when he indulges in some unhealthy food, succumbing to his cravings after a long time. His mother, despite knowing better, enables this behavior and brings him what he needs to satisfy his cravings. It's only after he experiences stomach pain does he learn not to overdo it.
I don't think it's gonna stop my progress. I just hope I can control it. I don't want to go back to where I was. I don't want to screw this up.
Yet again, James seems to not learn from his mistakes and orders a massive serving of fast food. He claims to not want to lose his progress and relapse, but every instinct in him tells him to eat his favorite foods, and boy, does he listen to his instincts.
And I think my mom wanted to remind me of what's at stake.
The doctor said that if we didn't do something and do it fast, that he could be here in a year's time.
I know I need to stay on track and keep making progress, or it's not gonna be too long before I know I'm gonna be here. I think about my mom. I don't wanna leave her alone. She don't have them anymore. Went through 2 of them. I don't think she can go through another one.
James and his mother visit the graves of his father and sister, which serves as a grim reminder of what might become of his life if he doesn't clean up his act soon enough. This newfound motivation compels him to get back in the gym and lose that weight.
I haven't been feeling well and I got a lot of pain in my stomach. I'm worried something is wrong.
Hi, Dan. You feeling okay?
Not really.
After skin surgery, James ends up experiencing a lot of stomach pain after having a large meal. Because of this medical emergency, he is rushed to the hospital immediately to get an endoscopy done at Darnell's request. It's revealed that his excess skin is causing him abdominal pain. A tragedy as to how the lingering effects of enablers last even after surgical intervention. Hopefully there's hope for James at the end of the tunnel, but now let's take a look at Tara.
Professional. You're my potato salad girl.
Thank you, Mom.
No, thank you for helping me.
You're welcome. The way I am now, I hate myself. Ever since I can remember, I've always been overweight.
In this final story, we take a look at the life of Tara, a single mother of 2 who feels like a prisoner in her own body, so much so that she feels disgusted at her own body and wishes to cut it straight off. Sigh, if only it were that easy. Tara claims that it has ruined her life since a young age, but simply chose to ignore it until it was too late. Her mother seems to share some of the blame as the person that's seen the signs for so long and just let it happen.
It's when I feel down, I know where it's at, so I can grab me something and got a quick fix. Food doesn't judge me. Whether I'm happy or sad or angry or upset or whatever, I always have food. Food has always been my safe haven. Always.
Despite being painfully aware of her current state, she still can't resist the urge to stuff herself. She keeps a little cabinet of snacks. Tara goes on to say that food has been her haven, and it's the one thing that doesn't judge her. Her mother continues to bring food to her despite knowing the dire circumstances her daughter is in.
Like she is, because it's hard to serve her and tell her that's all you can have. I always end up giving to her. She's my child. How can you tell a child, no, you can't have this food?
I know I can't keep going on like this. Now,
Tara opens up about her sexual assault experience and how it resulted in a pregnancy and then miscarriage. That event left her so traumatized that she wanted to become repulsive so that no man would want to touch her. Tara's mother confesses that she's been enabling her daughter because it breaks her heart to tell her own child not to eat. She's caught in this internal conflict because she understands it's a lose-lose situation.
Now. Oh my God.
Tara visits Darnell for the first time, determined to turn her life around. Upon stepping on the scale, she realizes she's over 600 obs. Darnell gives her the bottom line and tells her that she's obese because she's taking in way too many calories a day, at least 6,000.
Someone in her situation is not doing it alone. Who cooks?
My mom.
You need to cut your eating habit, and I think probably we should have a little visit with your mom and make sure she's going to support you in eating 3 times a day.
Yes,
and not the snacking in between. Is your mom here? Hi.
Hello, how you doing? I'm Tara's mother.
Okay, come on in, come on in.
Okay, great.
I understand that she eats 6 times a day. So if she eats 6 times a day after surgery, I can tell you she's not going to lose weight.
No.
We need to make those
Darnell quickly deduces that she's not alone in gaining all this weight and that someone must be enabling her. Tara tells Darnell that it's her mother that does the cooking, which prompts him to bring her in for questioning. He tells Tara's mother that she needs to start losing weight before she can undergo the surgery. This reality check hits her hard as she breaks down and is determined to see this through.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, just tell me the truth. How many times you eating? How much you eating?
I eat breakfast and then I eat supper.
Tara is overeating and she's not being truthful about it. I want to see how you doing in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm hoping that she will lose 10 pounds next time I see her. 2 weeks.
Aggravated. I'm ready to get the hell out of here.
Tara visits Dr. Now, but Darnell is dissatisfied with the amount of weight she's lost. Tara gets defensive because she thinks she's trying her best, but she and her enabling mother get the facts straightened out. She's still eating too much. This happens again 2 weeks later when she comes back, and she hasn't lost any weight. Darnell's ultimatums cause her to have a mental breakdown and storm out of the clinic. Just goes to show you how crippling an addiction can get and break you as a person, both physically and mentally. If you enjoyed today's content, then do yourself a favor and leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos in the future. And as always, thanks for watching.